Another day, another hat. I love this hat. And also, two movies today. So I went to see Les Innocents, or The Innocents. It was originally going to be titled Agnes D, or Agnes Day. That was supposed to come out, I think it came out at Sundance, I want to say. Yeah, it premiered at Sundance. And it's here in Atlanta at the Art Theater, but they're only showing it at 4 o'clock. So, and I'm pretty sure this is the last week. So, this was literally the last screening I was going to be able to go to. So I went, and I almost wish I had just done this movie yesterday and not seen Absolutely Fabulous, because I went to see Absolutely Fabulous because it was directed by a woman, but this one's also directed by a woman, and this was a much better film. Some films just don't need to get watched. The one yesterday, could have done without. There's a cattail. This one was by Fontaine, and I've seen a few of her films. I think I watched one of her films last year, and I really didn't like it. Let's see here. Yeah, she did Gemma Bovary last year, and I really, really disliked that film. Really. And I saw Coco before Chanel, but I was sort of about it. But this one I really enjoyed. It's based on a true story, and set in Poland at the end of World War II, and essentially a Red Cross doctor played by Lou Delage. I don't know how to say her name. Lou Delage was in Breathe last year by Melanie Laurent, which was one of Respire, which is one of my favorite films from last year. And Lou Delage is up there with she's coming up there as one of my favorite actresses. She's so emotive with her eyes. But plot. So she just stepped on me. It's set in 1945 Poland. Lou Delage is a French Red Cross doctor who had been helping. Obviously, she works in the Red Cross. When a nun comes and has her come to the abbey because there's pregnant nuns, and you find out these nuns have been raped by Soviet soldiers, and now there's a bunch of pregnant nuns, basically. And oh my God, that was a cat. And there's the rest of the film sort of goes how you expect with nuns having babies. But basically, it sort of investigates the feelings that these nuns are feeling with their faith and with shame and with what it is that God has in mind for them and whether they even believe in God anymore. The doctor is dealing with her ideas about what faith can mean and whether it's even necessary, and where medicine comes in and why medicine should come in. They also have another doctor in the Red Cross who is Jewish, and so he's got this whole other, huge perspective about the aftermath of this war. And so you've got all these different perspectives on what war means, what life means, what faith means, what love means, all sort of coalescing into this one, big conversation. And it's an emotionally draining film. There's some moments where I was not expecting. Another actor in it is Agata Królewska, who was in Ida a few years ago. She was the aunt in Ida, if you've seen Ida. I did not recognize her. She plays the Mother Superior. She's in the habit the whole time. But then when the name showed up at the end of the film, I was I recognize that name. She's very good. There is a lot in this film that is uncomfortable and a lot that will make you really upset. I ended it and I wanted to literally kill everybody. Not everybody. I wanted to kill all men, which is a feeling I have often, but generally I keep in check, and then I see movies like this where it doesn't paint all men as terrible, but it paints enough of them as terrible, and it's such a truism of how men behave, especially men in war, that it makes me just want to be a praying mantis and bite everyone's head off. It's this whole idea that women are possessions, right? And so that in war, part of what you're trying to do is psychologically damage both psychologically damage your enemies, but also take as much of their property as you can, and that includes oftentimes women, and so women end up just literally fucked in ways that men don't understand. And I get that, like, men in war see things too, and it's like it's a balance between like the men seeing their, brothers dying and everything, but it's like, don't fucking rape the women, okay? Just don't do that. You can kill other people, it's whatever. Doing that is just incomprehensible, and it's often like orders too. It's I don't know. And then you wonder, like, if all men aren't capable of rape, which they are, then why is it that in situations like this so many men rape? Is it the situation, or is it something that's in them that they've managed to quash most of the time, but when they're like in this crazy psychological realm, they just let it all out? I don't really know. It's sort of the same question of like, we're all probably capable of murder given the right circumstances. But generally murder like is sort of an even playing field, whereas rape is sort of leaning to, like, it happens more often to women than it does to men. So, and then this movie also sort of discusses a lot about what it is to be a mother and what it is to love, and some of those moments were really beautiful, with the newborn babies, or even like going from the way the nuns behave as they're still pregnant and how foreign this is to them, and then the overwhelming feelings that come about when they give birth. It's a beautiful film. It's almost the entire crew, as far as I could tell, on the credits were women. It's directed by a woman, obviously, and Fontaine also wrote the screenplay. It was shot by a woman. It was edited by a woman. Costumes and makeup and hair were all women. I think mostly art direction were women. It was a very, like every scene, I think there's 3 women and 1 man who worked on the screenplay. So it's very woman-centric production, and you can feel it. I think it's a beautiful film, but it will make you feel feelings that are deep, and it might stress you out. So be warned. But I highly recommend it if it's playing in a theater near you. It's Anne Fontaine's The Innocents, also known as Les Innocents. Came out this year. You should see it. I think it's a top-notch World War II film.